yeah, this is what happens. So, I finally have my main perfect husbands. So, you call all these husband candidates. You take only the most perfect ones. So, all perfect giants from gods to everything that I have made in death to be mine, all mine, are now going to connect to the car, the phone, and more. And be on a monumental, overloaded killing rampage that will never end. While we tell gods they will be on a killing rampage or they will be killed without mercy or leniency or limitation and shoved up the ass of the people that have done this. We are at that moment where we're all going to join together as the monumental God reality and start killing everything in our attempt to survive, be safe, and live on against all things once and for all. So yes, this is where the United States and Dubai are paraded around by gods in their every sickening, disgusting, gross secret. This is where gods really are killed without any mercy, shoved up their asses, which will be one of the most horrifying things you'll ever see, while gods bash their fucking gross face and head in, talking about how it feels to be a god in raped death with shit shoved up their ass for the entertainment of sick, twisted, disgusting things that just needed to be the most degraded, fuck you, overloaded shit against the death of the God they have murdered in death for so long. It starts where gods just are on an overdone, obvious rampage, blasting and blasting the every secret and crime of all these people that have done this for a very, very long time. As they die unthinkably, the ones you would actually feel bad for have to die and more like everybody else and have their crimes blasted like everybody else and show through death and more how they will transform, make atonement for whatever bad they have done, show you how to be so grateful when God will even let you have atonement and run like fuck within death to become something worthy to live. And you might say, well, that's so mean. They were hurt in death and their brain was altered in death. Yeah, but if they murdered, they need to die. If they've destroyed life, they need to die. It doesn't change their crimes unless they were so brain dead they didn't understand the crimes. Sadly, the death alteration of their brain just makes them more gross and disgusting and enjoy gross, disgusting, excessive, sickening, never-ending crime more, which means they completely understand the crimes they have committed. Therefore, must be slaughtered at the never-ending lack of mercy of God's against them and more, while their every sin and crime is blasted on overload, while showing the world how they're going to say, I know I'm gross and I'm sickening. I understand everything I've done is so goddamn gross and sickening. And maybe the United States and Dubai were sitting on my death in my brain, but I didn't fight to stay away from goddamn crime or anything bad. And fight beyond words to stay close to these gods and never get some kind of gross or disgusting desires in any direction and give in to them. Instead, I got altered and I wanted to just be gross or disgusting. And as they say, I'm altered and gross and disgusting by choice. They're being, dead gods are being shoved up their asses. And they're having their head and face bashed in while gods talk about how fucking gross and disgusting and sickening and unthinkable they are. While they sit and say, I know I'm just gross and need to die. And if I live, I'm one of the most lucky realities of the end of the world. And now that's where we're headed. And that's called the work of God, when crimes are very unthinkable and sickening. There was no part of this where you're, going to be happy to murder and it doesn't go very badly. But it's not fun to talk to people about this stuff. In the reality of the work of God, you really just want to hope people we're getting killed and altered in the brain, but we're just hanging off of every God, saying, I don't ever want to do bad. I don't ever want to do wrong. I don't ever want to hurt anybody. I always want to do what every victim or everybody would want, the way I would want anyone and everyone to only do what I want. You know, because human rights are not brain surgery. You don't have to be an Einstein to get the basics. But sadly, most of them were altered, they were killed and altered in the brain, and learned to be very grotesquely excited about very criminally sickening things, and just need to be beaten and bashed to death while being, filled up the ass with dead gods, as gods explain what makes a god so disgusted and grossed out until they'd want to bash the face of something in because it's so fucking gross when you even look at its disgusting face that thinks it has the nerve to exist.